Hogminer Cannon 2.6 Cycle. This deck is so toxic that your opponent will literally leave the match just to protect their mental health. Like, people see this deck and just instantly close the app because they know what's coming and they're not ready for it. Hogminer Cannon 2.6 is literally spam the musical. The whole game plan is spam Hog Rider at the bridge while cycling through your cheap cards faster than your opponent can even respond. Mighty Miner's damage ramps up like Inferno Dragon, so he melts through anything trying to stop your hog. Plus his skill is crucial for moments of escape. The deck costs barely any elixir, so you're getting back to Hog Rider before they've even finished dealing with the last one. It's pure speed and it's unbeatable when played right. The win rate is high because you just outcycle everything. Evolved Cannon drops several bombs on the enemy camp, killing any swarms that are nearby. The Firecracker is a broken card on its own and helps a lot in big pushes. The synergy is crazy. Earthquake deletes their buildings, so Hog has a free path. Electro Spirit Chain stuns for positive trades, and you're cycling so fast they can't keep up. Against Beatdown, you just kite everything to your Evolved Cannon and outcycle their expensive cards. Against other cycles, you win because you're faster. The only real problem is heavy air decks, but if you play tight, you can still win by outcycling their answers and chipping tower faster than they can build a push. The deck teaches you elixir management while being brain dead easy to play, which is why the win rate sits above 50%, even with thousands of games played. But annoying one lane is baby mode compared to what this next deck does to both towers at once. Royal Hog's Archer, Queen 2.9 Cycle. Nothing tilts people harder than watching literal flying pigs destroy both their towers while they can only stop one. Royal Hog's Archer Queen is such a strong deck that it was even traumatic for Supercell. Evo Royal Hogs spawn flying and deal fall damage when they attack, and they split to both towers, so your opponent has to choose which one they want to save. Archer Queen sits back sniping everything, and when you activate her ability, she goes invisible with crazy attack speed. The whole deck is built to split your opponent's focus while you defend perfectly with cannon. The high win rate comes from forcing impossible choices. Against P.E.K.K.A decks, they can only kill 1 or 2 pigs while the others are already hitting tower. They spend 7 elixir and you still get damage. The synergy is disgusting. Royal Delivery baits log, then you send hogs with no answer available. Earthquake destroys their defensive buildings, so pigs have free paths. Ice Spirit freezes for over a second, which is forever when you need to stop 4 fast pigs. The matchup spread is insane. You destroy single target heavy decks because they can't defend both lanes, and against Splash, you just split them thin until something breaks through. The only weakness is heavy splash like Executioner or Valkyrie, but even then you can outcycle and overwhelm with constant pressure. Split lane pressure is mathematically unfair, and that's why this deck wins more than it loses. Mortar 2.9 Cycle. This deck has the highest win rate in competitive, and it's literally just griefing from maximum distance. Mortar 2.9 is Siege on steroids. Evolved Mortar shoots faster and spawns a goblin with every shot, while the Skeleton Barrel forces the enemy to use some spells to stop it before it wipes out the entire tower. Night tanks, dart goblin snipes, minions handle air, and your spells clean up everything else. The cycle is fast enough to get back to Mortar before they can build a proper push. The win rate is the highest in the game right now because the deck answers everything while dealing uncounterable chip. The synergy is perfect. Mortar chips from range while you spam Skeleton Barrels after they use their spell. They have to defend a building shooting from across the map and direct tower dives at the same time. Against other cycle decks, not your Mortar chips for free because they don't have heavy answers. Against Beatdown, Knight and minions defend cheap while Mortar punishes. Fireball takes out Elixir Collectors so they can't ramp. And against Bridge spam, you just pre-aim Mortar and spam barrels. The only real counter is air-heavy decks like Lava Loon, but even then, tight placement and fireball timing can steal wins. This deck wins because it forces your opponent to defend 2 completely different threats while you're cycling faster than they can respond. That's why it's sitting at 57% win rate over almost 7,000 games. Musketeer Balloon 2.9 Cycle. Your opponent spent their whole elixir bar on a building and Balloon just flew over it and dropped a nuke anyway. Musketeer Balloon 2.9 is air chip cycle. Evo Musketeer supports with her 3 sniper shots with infinite range and increased damage. Balloon drops massive bombs, and Miner slowly damages the tower. The whole deck is designed to end the game when a balloon cycle connects. Even when the enemy has many buildings, you still have your Evo Musketeer to snipe the defenses. The synergy is beautiful. Miner forces responses anywhere on the map. Balloon dives when they're low on elixir. Musketeer pierces through defenders. Giant Snowball resets Inferno Dragon before it can melt Balloon, and Bomb Tower handles any ground push they try. Against Beatdown, you defend cheap, then Balloon, dive the opposite lane. Against Cycles, you outcycle their air answers with Minor Chip. The weakness is heavy anti-air like Mega Minion plus Electro Dragon, but you can bait spells and still win with constant pressure. The 54% win rate comes from versatility, you're never locked into one attack pattern, and air pressure is just superior to ground in most matchups. But flying bombs are cute compared to this next deck that just deletes your entire push. Royal Giant Fisherman Hunter 3.0 cycle. Fisherman pulling your tank into Hunter's shotgun is literally a trap card, and it's legal somehow. Royal Giant Fisherman Hunter is bridge spam perfected. Evolved Royal Giant deals shockwave knockback with every attack. Fisherman hooks enemies into terrible positions, and Hunter's 10 shotgun pellets do insane damage at close range. Evolved Royal Ghost spawns 2 soldiers when attacking invisible. The whole deck is built around positioning synergy. The 56% win rate comes from the Fisherman Hunter combo being actually broken. Against any ground deck, you hook their tank to the river, where Hunter melts it in seconds, while Royal Giant takes tower. The shockwave keeps pushing defenders back so Hunter gets clean shots. Royal Ghost, jumping invisible forces, bad spell usage, or free chip damage. Against Beatdown, you hook their golem away from tower, and Hunter deletes it. Against bridge spam, you use Fisherman to reposition threats, then Hunter blasts them. The only weakness is Expo Siege or Heavy Spell Cycle, but Fisherman can pull himself to their buildings for pressure. Barbarian Barrel prediction is essential. If you let Swarm surround your Royal Giant, you lose, but predict correctly, and you just walk to tower. The deck wins through perfect synergy and positioning control. But combos require skill. This next deck is just pure chaos and trolling. Wall Breakers, Ghostbait 3.1 cycle. Once they're out of spells, Wall Breakers literally sprint to tower and explode it like they're speedrunning. Wall Breakers Ghostbait is spellbait maximized. Evolved Wall Breakers keep running even when defeated and deal explosion damage. Evolved Royal Ghost spawns 2 soldiers when attacking invisible. Evolved Skeleton Barrel drops 2 barrels with 14 skeletons total. The whole strategy is drain their spells, then let Wall Breakers end the game. The 54% win rate comes from spell exhaustion being unstoppable. Wall Breakers move very fast and explode for massive damage, so once log and arrows are gone, they just walk to tower. The synergy is perfect. Ghost behind tower forces reactions. Double Skeleton Barrel after they log guarantees one connects. Vines freezes 3 highest HP troops so you can activate King Tower while clearing swarms. Against cycle decks, Wall Breakers overwhelm cheap defenses because they explode too fast. Against Beatdown, Bomb Tower defends while you spam bait cards. The weakness is Heavy Splash like Valkyrie plus Wizard, but you just cycle faster and eventually something connects. The deck wins through mind games. They have to guess which threat to spell, and when they guess wrong, Wall Breakers end the match in seconds. If these decks are making you stressed just watching, hit subscribe so you catch the next broken meta. But trolling is basic. This next deck brings hero cards that are literally built different. Royal Giant Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. 3.1 cycle. Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A's ability is basically aimbot for tanks. They just disappear in seconds. This is bridge spam with heroes, which makes it twice as broken. Heroic Mini P.E.K.K.A. costs 1 elixir for his ability that gives insane DP sights paired with evolved Royal Giant Shockwaves, Fisherman repositioning, and evolved Hunter's Net that immobilizes troops for 3 seconds and grounds flying units. The whole deck turns defense into instant offense. The win rate is rising fast because hero abilities break the game. When you activate Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A's ability on tanks, 8 Elixir Golem just vanishes in seconds. The synergy is disgusting. Fisherman pulls Royal Giant to perfect spots, Hunter nets their defenders so they can't move or attack, and Hero ability makes any defense into a game-ending counter push. Against Beatdown, you activate ability and delete their tank before it reaches tower. Against bridge spam, you net their win condition, and it's stuck for 3 seconds. The weakness is Swarm Bait. If Skeleton Army surrounds your Royal Giant without log prediction, you're cooked. But predict correctly, and hero burst damage is unstoppable. The deck wins through timing, activate ability at the right moment, and defense becomes a tower-taking counter push that nobody can stop. But one hero is whatever. This next deck controls the whole map with Splash. Hog Executioner, Valkyrie 3.4 cycle. Tornado pulling everything into Executioner and Valkyrie is literally throwing enemies into a blender and watching. Hog Executioner Valkyrie is Control Perfected. Evolved Executioner deals extra damage and knockback at close range. Evolved Valkyrie summons Tornado with each attack, and Tornado pulls everything into kill zones. The whole deck is built around Splash Synergy and Rocket Cycle. The 54% win rate comes from Splash Control being unbeatable against most decks. Tornado to King Tower activates it for permanent extra damage on every defense, plus Executioner's Axe hits enemies twice when you pull them. Against Swarm and Bait, the splash damage is overwhelming. Valkyrie creates tornadoes that pull while she spins. Executioner's Axe pierces everything. The synergy is perfect. Rocket deletes Elixir collectors so they can't ramp. Then, you defend positive and chip with Hog until towers in rocket range. Against Beatdown, you pull their tank to King Tower, and Splash melts the support. Against Cycles, you defend perfect, then Rocket finish. The weakness is air Beatdown like a Lava Loon, but tight tornado placement and rocket timing can still win. The deck wins through methodical control. Every defense is positive Elixir, every Hog is chipped, and Rocket finishes low towers. But controlling with Splash is fine. This next deck throws so many troops that math stops working. Hero, Giant Horde, 3.8. This deck has the highest win rate in competitive, and the strategy is literally just send everything and watch them cry. Hero Giant Horde is chaos maximized. Heroic Giant costs 2 Elixir for his ability. Heroic Mini, Peki, costs 1 Elixir for ability. Then you send Minion Horde, Bats from Night Witch, and Evolved Skeleton Army that becomes invisible when HP hits 0 until the Skeleton General dies. The whole thing is overwhelming volume. The 58% win rate is the highest in competitive because they physically can't defend this many troops. Giant's ability repositions threats, Hero Mini P.E.K.K.'a ability deletes defenders, and the swarm of Minion Horde plus Bats plus 15 Skeletons breaks the game. Against Cycle decks, they don't have enough Elixir to answer everything. Against Beatdown, you just overwhelm faster. The synergy is perfect. Bats on opposite lane for chip while they panic defend main push. Evolved Zap clears their counters while staying in arena and growing. Sparky charges behind everything to nuke towers. The weakness is heavy splash like Evolved Valkyrie plus Baby Dragon, but you bait splash first, then send the real push. The deck wins through pure mathematics. Activate both hero abilities during a push, and they need perfect splash, which they won't have because you already baited it. But single lane swarm is manageable. This next deck splits that chaos across both towers. Royal Hogs, Royal Recruits 4.1 cycle. Defending Royal Hogs and Royal Recruits attacking both towers is literally a panic attack in card form. Royal Hogs, Royal Recruits is split lane control. Evolved Royal Hogs fly and deal fall damage. Evolved Royal Recruits charge at very fast speed after shields break for double damage. Flying Machine pokes from range, and Zappies chain stun everything. The whole deck forces divided defenses. The 57% win rate over a week makes this elite competitive because split pressure is mathematically broken. Royal Hogs and Royal Recruits span both lanes, so they have to defend everywhere at once. The synergy is perfect. Zappies chain stun tanks so hard they never reach tower. Flying Machine clears backline support safely. Evolved Goblin Cage drags ground troops into the cage where they can't attack and take 10% more damage. Against Cycles, they can't stop both lanes with cheap cards. Against Beatdown, you split them thin, while Zappies perma stun their tank. The weakness is heavy splash on both sides, but you just overwhelm with volume. Fireball takes out medium troops with precision timing. The deck wins because split lane makes defense cost double Elixir. They overcommit one side and you punish the other for free damage every time. But Split Swarm is annoying. This next deck builds one massive push that just ends games. Golem Double Dragon 4.5. Once Golem crosses bridge with Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A and both dragons, it's basically a final boss fight you can't win. Golem Double Dragon is beatdown perfected, Golem tanks with extremely high HP, Heroic Mini P.E.K.K.A's ability gives insane DPS, Evolved Baby Dragon creates Wind Burst that slows enemies 30%, and speeds allies 50%. Evolved Electro Dragon chains infinitely after the third chain. Battle Healer sustains everything with healing pulses. The 53% win rate proves tank pushes still dominate when built correctly. Early Elixir Collector gives the advantage to build unstoppable pushes. Without it, you can't afford this. The synergy is perfect. Hero. Mini P.E.K.K.A ability on their support troops deletes them instantly. Dragons provide air superiority so Minion Horde can't counter. Tornado groups defenders for Dragon Splash. Against faster decks, they can't generate enough Elixir to stop Golem with double dragons. Against other beatdown, you defend with Tornado and Battle Healer then counter push harder. The weakness is Heavy Spell Cycle, but Battle Healer keeps everything alive through Fireball and Rocket. The deck wins through overwhelming single pushes. Once Death Push reaches Tower, with Hero ability and Dragon support, towers just disappear. But if Double Dragons is scary, this final deck is the absolute heaviest thing in the game. Golem Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. 4.6. This is the heaviest deck in Clash Royale, and when this push connects, towers don't just die, they get deleted from existence. Golem Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. is maximum beatdown. Golem leads, Heroic Mini P.E.K.K.A., Ability Shreds, Evolved Baby Dragon's Wind Burst slows everyone, Evolved Valkyrie summons Tornado with each spin attack, Battle Healer sustains, Zappy's Chain Stun, Elixir Collector fuels everything. The push is genuinely unstoppable. The 55% win rate over 5,000 games proves heavy beatdown still works. Elixir Collector early is mandatory. You need the advantage to build the death push. The synergy is maximum. Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. ability deletes their tanks instantly. Evolved Baby Dragon prevents air counters with the Wind Burst and